And Najee Harris last year, 255 rush attempts, 1,035 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns, 29 receptions on 38 targets for 170 yards to the air. Thoughts on Najee?
I think this is fair value. Like, I don't see where these numbers change a whole lot. Like, I don't necessarily, maybe he gets a few more rushing attempts because of, this Arthur Smith style offense and how I think they're going to run it. Um, 4 yards a clip isn't bad, right? Like, it was not the high end output that we expected from Najee, but 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. If you told someone that at the beginning of the season last year, like, you're going to get 1,000 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns out of Najee Harris, you're like, yeah, okay, he can be my RB2. And then he was your RB2, and everyone pissed and moaned about it all season long, right? Just wasn't necessarily pretty how it got there. But again, I think this is what you expect out of Najee, like 1,000 yards, 7, 8 touchdowns, and you call it good. So I would tell you where he's going RB20 is fair value. Um, I would rather have David Montgomery, right? The guy we just talked about. So I think that's there. I think I would slide Najee down in my personal rankings because I would rather have Mostert than Najee.
I think realistically now we kind of know what we're getting, right? Um, with Najee Harris. So you're drafting him in a probably where he probably should have been being drafted all along, right? In this RB2 territory. Um, and that nothing against him. He didn't have any say on where he was going, and we all thought that he was going to be this great fantasy running back, and it just hasn't been that way.
Well,
I don't know that the change in OC has a huge impact. I think if I draft Najee Harris this year, it will be done reluctantly.
I don't know that you need to be reluctant in drafting Najee, right? Like, this is, again, one of those that we're going to probably see the volume out of this one. And out of between the two backs, I think I would rather have Najee over Jalen Warren, simply from the standpoint that the touchdowns are the touchdowns, the touches, the opportunities are probably going to be far more predictable to this one than what we see off of a Jalen Warren type of mix in there, right? Like, again, Arthur Smith, you know, we learned that lesson last year with the Bijan and the Tyler Algier experience in Atlanta, and seeing how utilizing two capable backs there, as well as Russell Wilson does not have a history of checking the ball down or feeding running backs to the passing game there either, right? Justin Fields, that hasn't really been his forte either. So this is one of those that I think Najee will at least see the volume play there. And again, not going to surprise me if we see a running back here with 250 plus carries and him break another 1,000 yards on the ground and see 7 or 8 touchdowns. So I think on the running side of things, it's probably very similar rinse and repeat. And